God's chosen ones. Don't play with this message. It's too serious. Lifetime chosen one. Stop scrolling, stop what you're doing for a moment and listen carefully. Because this message is not an accident. You were led here, out of millions of videos, out of countless voices. Somehow, you found this one. And deep down, you already know why. There is something happening in your life right now that you cannot fully explain. People are changing. Doors are closing. Certain relationships are falling apart. The things that once made sense no longer make sense. And the path ahead feels uncertain. You have cried in silence. You have questioned yourself. You have wondered if God forgot about you. But hear this clearly. God did not forget you. God has been watching every tear, every lonely night, every unanswered prayer, every battle nobody knows about. And today, He is sending you a warning, a confirmation, and a prophetic reminder. This is not the season to play with your calling. This is not the season to ignore the signs. This is not the season to go back to people God removed, because what is coming next in your life is too important, too powerful, too sacred. Listen carefully. The enemy knows something about your future that you do not fully see yet. That is why the attacks increased. That is why betrayal came. That is why confusion surrounded you. That is why you felt isolated. The battle became intense because your breakthrough became close. And God is saying, "My child, do not mistake preparation for abandonment. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. You are not lost. You are being transformed." And before this message ends, you will understand why everything had to happen exactly the way it did. Because God is revealing something serious to His chosen ones today. Something you cannot afford to ignore. Chosen one, there is a loneliness that comes with being chosen. Most people will never understand it, because they were not called to carry what you carry. They were not assigned the purpose God placed inside you, and they were not prepared for the destiny waiting ahead. Hear this clearly. Some people left because they were never meant to go where God is taking you. It hurts deeply, especially when those people were family, friends, people you trusted, people you prayed for, people you sacrificed for. But God is saying they left because their season in your life was over. Sometimes God removes people before He elevates you, not because He wants to hurt you, but because He wants to protect you. Listen carefully. The people who betrayed Joseph were the same people God used to push him toward his destiny. The betrayal felt like destruction, but it was actually redirection. And maybe that's exactly where you are right now. You think your life is falling apart, but heaven sees your life coming together. You think doors are closing, but God sees new doors opening. You think you are losing people, but God is removing distractions. Hear this clearly. Not everyone who walks with you is assigned to stay with you. Some people are lessons, some people are tests, some people are blessings, and some people are obstacles disguised as blessings. That is why God has been exposing hidden intentions. That is why masks have been falling. That is why certain relationships suddenly became uncomfortable. God is revealing what was always there. You are simply seeing it now, and yes, it hurts, because chosen people love deeply. Chosen people give deeply. Chosen people forgive deeply. But they also suffer deeply, because their hearts are different, their spirits are different, their purpose is different. Listen carefully. The isolation you feel is not proof that God abandoned you. It is proof that God is working on you. Seeds grow underground before they ever break through the surface. And right now, God has you in a hidden place, a place of preparation, a place where nobody applauds you, a place where nobody understands you, a place where faith becomes your only option, and that hidden season is painful, because nobody sees your struggle. Nobody sees the prayers, nobody sees the tears, nobody sees the battles, but God sees everything, every sacrifice, every disappointment, every heartbreak, every moment you almost gave up. He sees it all, and He is saying, stay faithful, because the hidden season creates the strong season. The lonely season creates the powerful season. The painful season creates the victorious season. Hear this clearly. Your suffering has purpose. Your tears have purpose. Your waiting has purpose. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing. Every betrayal taught you wisdom. Every disappointment taught you discernment. Every heartbreak taught you strength. Every lonely night taught you dependence on God. You thought you were losing, but God was building. You thought you were breaking, but God was shaping. You thought you were buried, but God was planting. And now, the roots are growing, the foundation is forming, the transformation is happening. Listen carefully. The enemy wanted your pain to destroy you, but God used your pain to develop you. The enemy wanted your heartbreak to weaken you, but God used it to strengthen you. The enemy wanted your isolation to make you quit, but God used it to draw you closer to Him. And now you are stronger than before, wiser than before, more discerning than before, more spiritually awake than before, because suffering changed you, not into someone weaker, into someone stronger, into someone prepared, into someone ready. God is saying, the season of preparation is almost complete. And when the appointed time arrives, nothing will stop what God has planned. Nothing, not betrayal, not opposition, not criticism, not delay, because divine timing cannot be cancelled by human opinion. What God has spoken over your life will come to pass. And that is why this message is serious, because you are closer than you think, closer to answers, closer to healing, closer to restoration, closer to breakthrough, closer to purpose, closer to destiny. Do not quit now, do not turn back now, do not doubt now, because the very thing you have been praying for may be closer than it has ever been before. Chosen one. There is something God wants you to understand. The greatest battles often happen right before the greatest blessings. Hear this clearly. Many people give up during the final test, not because they are weak, but because they do not realize how close they are. The darkness becomes intense, the attacks become personal, the pressure increases, and they assume God has abandoned them. But listen carefully. When God is preparing elevation, He first prepares character. When God is preparing promotion, He first prepares endurance. When God is preparing blessing, He first prepares the heart. That is why this season has felt so heavy, because heaven is doing deep work inside you. God is removing fear, removing pride, removing dependence on people, removing old mindsets, removing hidden wounds, removing everything that cannot go where He is taking you. And sometimes that process hurts. Sometimes it feels like losing. Sometimes it feels like confusion, sometimes it feels like silence. But God's silence is not His absence. Hear this clearly. God is working even when you cannot see Him. He is moving even when you cannot feel Him. He is preparing even when you cannot understand. The chosen often walk by faith long before they walk in victory. That is the process. That is the journey. That is the preparation. Listen carefully. Have you noticed the signs? The strange confirmations? The repeated messages? The unexpected opportunities? the sudden awareness, the deep conviction, the growing desire to get closer to God. These are not accidents. These are reminders. God is speaking. God is guiding. God is warning. Because there are still things you must release. Still habits you must leave behind. Still distractions you must walk away from. Still voices you must stop listening to. Hear this clearly. Not everyone deserves access to the new version of you, the version God is creating, the stronger version, the healed version, the wiser version, the awakened version. God is protecting your future by removing what threatens it, even when it hurts, even when it feels unfair, even when you do not understand, because God sees what you cannot see. He sees tomorrow. He sees next year. He sees the destiny waiting ahead. And he refuses to let temporary comfort destroy eternal purpose. Listen carefully. You have survived things that should have broken you. You have endured storms that should have defeated you. You have carried burdens that should have crushed you. Yet, here you are, still standing, still believing, still praying, still fighting. Why? Because God has been carrying you every step, every battle, every season, every moment. And now, the transformation is becoming visible. You are thinking differently, praying differently, seeing differently, living differently, because you are no longer who you used to be. The old version of you could not handle what God is about to release. The new version can. The refined version can. The prepared version can. Hear this clearly. The breakthrough is not only about receiving something. It is about becoming someone stronger, someone wiser, someone more faithful, someone more surrendered to God. And that transformation is already happening. Right now, this very moment, God is saying, do not fear what is ahead. I have already gone before you. I have already prepared the way. I have already written the story. My child, trust me. And if God is saying trust him, then trust him. When you understand, trust him. When you do not understand, trust him. When the answer comes, trust him. When the answer delays, trust him, because his timing is perfect, his plans are perfect, his purpose is perfect. And your story is not ending in defeat. It is ending in victory. The pain was real, the betrayal was real, the loneliness was real, the tears were real. But hear this clearly. So is the breakthrough. So is the promise. So is the restoration. So is the blessing. So is the victory. And it is coming at exactly the right time. Chosen one. If this message found you today, take it seriously. Do not ignore what God has been showing you. Do not return to what he removed. Do not doubt what he promised. Do not quit during the final chapter. Chosen one, there is something God wants you to hear right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, because you have spent too much time questioning what heaven has already confirmed. Listen carefully. The reason you feel different is because you are different. The reason you cannot fit into places where everyone else seems comfortable is because your spirit was never designed to settle there. You have tried to blend in. You have tried to lower your standards. You have tried to ignore what God was showing you. But every time you did, something inside you felt restless. Something inside you refused to be satisfied. And that was not a weakness. That was God's hand on your life. Hear this clearly. The chosen often experience a holy dissatisfaction, not because they are ungrateful, but because they know they were created for more, not more fame, not more attention, not more approval, more purpose, more obedience, more of God's presence. The world told you to chase popularity. God told you to chase purpose. The world told you to fit in. God called you to stand out. The world told you to follow the crowd. God called you to follow him. And that is why the road has been lonely, because purpose has a cost. Calling has a cost. Destiny has a cost. Many people want the blessing. Few people want the preparation. Many people want the crown. Few people are willing to endure the process. But you have endured. You have survived seasons that nobody applauded. You have fought battles that nobody saw. You have carried burdens that nobody understood. And through it all, God was building something inside you. Strength, wisdom, discernment, faith. Listen carefully. There were moments when you thought everything was falling apart. Moments when you thought the door closing was a punishment. Moments when you thought the silence meant rejection. But God is saying, it was protection. Had certain doors opened, they would have distracted you. Had certain people stayed, they would have delayed you. Had certain plans succeeded, they would have taken you away from your assignment. So God intervened, not to hurt you, to preserve you. And now, when you look back, you can see it. The things that broke your heart were often the things that saved your future. The delays that frustrated you were often the things that protected your destiny. The endings that made you cry were often the beginnings heaven was preparing. Hear this clearly. The enemy wanted you discouraged. He wanted you distracted. He wanted you exhausted. Because he knew that a spiritually awakened person is dangerous. A person who trusts God despite the pain is dangerous. A person who keeps believing despite the delay is dangerous. A person who refuses to quit is dangerous, and that is who you are becoming. Every battle increased your endurance. Every setback increased your faith. Every disappointment increased your dependence on God. You are not the same person you were a year ago. God has been changing you, refining you, sharpening you, preparing you. And the process is not finished yet. But neither is your story. Listen carefully. There is a shift happening. You can feel it. Something is changing in your spirit. The things that once mattered no longer matter. The voices that once controlled you no longer control you. The fears that once stopped you are losing their power. Because God is awakening something greater within you. A new confidence, a new boldness, a new level of faith. Not confidence in yourself. Confidence in Him. Confidence that He is faithful. Confidence that He keeps His promises. Confidence that what He started, He will finish. Hear this clearly. Do not allow temporary struggles to make permanent decisions. Do not abandon your assignment because of a difficult season. Do not walk away from God's purpose because the road became uncomfortable. The greatest testimonies are born from the greatest trials. The strongest faith is built in the hardest battles, and the brightest light often emerges from the darkest night. God is saying, my child, keep going, keep trusting, keep believing. What I promised is still coming. The delay is not denial. The silence is not abandonment. The struggle is not the end. Because beyond this season is growth. Beyond this season is healing. Beyond this season is restoration. Beyond this season is breakthrough. And when that breakthrough arrives, you will understand why God asked you to wait. You will understand why He removed certain people. You will understand why He closed certain doors. You will understand why the journey had to unfold the way